She pulled out her phone bill. She'd been keeping the landline because it was her children's most reliable way to reach her. But they didn't call, did they? The last 6 months of itemized calls showed only telemarketers, her doctor's office, and Mrs. Patterson. The next morning, she walked to the phone company's office and canceled her landline. The customer service representative seemed surprised. Most of their elderly customers clung to landlines like lifelines. "Are you sure, Mom? What if there's an emergency?" Mary thought of all the emergencies that had already happened. The fall, the window that wouldn't seal, the trust reduction, the wedding she wasn't invited to, the grandson she'd never held. "I have a neighbor," she said. "She checks on me." The money saved, $45 monthly, would help offset the trust reduction. Mary felt a fierce pride in this small act of independence, even as part of her wondered if her children would notice when they tried to call on Christmas. If they tried to call on Christmas. That afternoon, she did something she'd been considering for months. She walked to the senior center 6 blocks away, the one she'd been avoiding because it felt too much like giving in to her children's image of her as just another old person waiting to die. The place surprised her. Art classes, book clubs, computer lessons, and people, so many people, with stories like hers. Children too busy, too distant, too absorbed in their own lives. But here, they'd built something new. Not a replacement for family, but a community of understanding. Carol, a retired nurse with silver hair and laugh lines, was teaching basic smartphone skills. "You can get one of the simple models," she explained, "and prepaid plans are cheaper than contracts." Mary thought of her carefully rationed allowance. "I don't know." "Think of it this way," Carol said. "You can have your own photos, your own music, your own way to reach out, or not reach out. It's independence." Independence. The word echoed in Mary's mind as she walked home. The trust controlled her money, her housing, her medical care. But they couldn't control everything, not if she didn't let them. She spent that evening making lists, real ones, not the kind the trust's pamphlet suggested. Assets she still controlled, skills she still had, options she'd never considered. The next day brought another surprise, a certified letter from the trust company requesting her presence at a family meeting in December. All 3 children would be there. The letter mentioned concerns about long-term care planning,